All right, so you're back with us for another deep dive, and we're tackling something pretty cool today.
It's a new feature from Brisk Teaching that a lot of people have been buzzing about.
It's all about turning what you already have, those Google Docs, those articles you saved, PDFs, even websites.
Right into podcasts for your students.
Imagine that, just like...
It's kind of a game changer if you think about it, because you're already busy enough as an educator, right? And now you're thinking, oh, great, one more thing to add to my to-do list.
Yeah.
Creating podcasts. But the idea here is that this new Brisk feature makes it really simple.
That's what we're diving deep into today, is really seeing, how does this work?
Exactly.
How simple is it, and how can it impact your teaching?
Exactly.
So let's imagine I have this really awesome Google Doc explaining, a historical event or a great science article.
Right.
How do I turn that into audio magic using Brisk?
So first things first, you need the Brisk extension.
Okay.
That's like a little add-on to your Chrome browser, and it's super easy to install. Once you have that, you just click on the little Brisk icon.
Right.
And a menu pops up. You'll see an option to create, and then from there, you just choose podcast.
Okay. So a couple clicks and we're on our way.
Yeah.
What happens next? Do I need to, be a tech wizard to figure all this out?
Not at all, actually. It's designed to be really intuitive.
Okay.
So after you hit podcast, you'll see some settings you can tweak.
Okay.
Like choosing the language for the podcast. And get this, they support over 40 languages.
Wow, that's amazing for classrooms with students who speak different languages.
Absolutely. It's all about accessibility.
Yeah.
You can also set how long you want the podcast to be, adjust the grade level to match your students.
Okay.
Even align it with specific educational standards.
That's helpful.
And then when you're ready, you just click Brisket.
Brisket. I love it.
It does what it says.
So one click and boom, a fully formed podcast appears.
Pretty much it uses some fancy text-to-speech tech to convert your writing into audio. But here's the best part. It also creates a transcript automatically.
So students can read along as they listen.
Exactly. Think about how helpful that is for visual learners or anyone who needs that extra support.
Huge, especially for accessibility and different learning styles.
For sure.
And you mentioned the language options. Wow, that could be a game changer for multilingual learners.
Right. Imagine a student being able to listen to a lesson in their native language.
It just opens up so many possibilities.
It really does.
So now I have this amazing podcast. What do I do with it? How do I get it to my students?
Brisk gives you a couple of options. You can download the audio file directly.
Okay.
Or you can grab a shareable link and send that to your students super easy.
Nice. And where does it all live? Is it cluttering up my Google Drive?
Nope. It's all neatly organized within Brisk itself. You'll find a My Podcast section where all your creations are stored.
Smart. Very organized.
It is.
Now, I noticed that there are different limits on how long a podcast can be depending on your Brisk plan.
Yes, that's right.
Can you break that down for us?
Sure. So with the free plan, you can create podcasts up to 2 minutes long.
Okay.
If you bump up to the Educator Pro plan, that extends to about 4 to 5 minutes.
Got it.
And for schools or districts using the full-fledged plan, you can go all the way up to 10 minutes per podcast.
Okay. So different options to fit different needs.
Exactly.
Now, beyond just the convenience factor, what are the real educational benefits of using this feature? Why is this better than just having my students read the same information?
Well, for starters, it gives them a totally new way to engage with the material.
Okay.
Listening can be more dynamic than reading, especially for some learners.
Yeah.
It can help them connect with the content in a different way.
Right.
And it's great for auditory learners, obviously.
Makes sense.
Plus, when you're listening, you're more likely to really process the information and maybe even visualize it in your head.
It's like adding another dimension to the learning.
It is. And think about those assigned readings. Instead of slogging through pages, they could listen to the audio while they're commuting or exercising.
That's a great point.
You could even create little audio intros to key topics.
Okay.
Or use short podcasts to pose questions or present scenarios that kick off classroom discussions.
So many possibilities.
Right. It's not about replacing traditional reading entirely.
Yeah.
It's about providing options and supplementing what you're already doing.
Giving students more ways to access and engage with the material.
Exactly. And when you factor in how efficient this is, it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
You can take existing content, transform it into a podcast, and then boom, you have a multimodal learning experience.
Students can listen, read the transcript, do follow-up activities. It's a whole package.
It is. And speaking of activities,
yes,
let's talk about Boost and Create Anything.
What are those?
Okay, so Boost lets you add interactive elements directly into your podcast.
Like what?
You could start with a little audio hook to grab their attention.
Right?
Throw in a quick comprehension question midway through, or even have an audio-based exit ticket at the end to wrap things up.
So it's not just passive listening. They're actively engaged.
Exactly. And then there's Create Anything, which is even cooler.
Tell me more.
Basically, it lets you build all sorts of resources based on your podcast content.
Like what?
Quizzes to check for understanding.
Okay.
Inquiry-based questions to spark deeper thinking. Even presentations that expand on the audio.
Wow. So it really does create a whole ecosystem around the podcast.
It does, and it's all done automatically tailored to the specific content.
That's incredible about saving time.
Right, and that's what educators need.
For sure.
More impact, less time spent on creating resources.
Exactly. So how would all this play out in a real classroom? Can you give me an example?
Sure, imagine a history teacher who wants to bring a historical figure to life.
Okay.
They could take a diary entry, turn it into a short podcast,
Okay.
add a little intro to set the scene, and boom, students are transported back in time.
That's so cool. Or an English teacher could have students listen to an author reading their own work.
Exactly. It just opens up so many possibilities and makes learning more engaging and accessible.
And the best part is it seems super easy for teachers to use.
Right. No fancy equipment or editing skills needed.
Open your content, click a few buttons in Brisk, and you're good to go.
That's the beauty of it.
So for someone listening to this right now, what's the big takeaway? What do you want them to remember?
Brisk podcasts are a simple yet powerful way to turn your educational content into engaging audio.
Yeah.
It's about making learning more accessible and creating a richer experience for your students.
Absolutely.
So take a look at your materials and think about how audio could enhance what you're already doing.
What could you transform first?
Exactly.
That's something to ponder as you continue exploring all the cool new tools out there.
Absolutely.
Thanks for diving deep with us.
My pleasure.